Hi there, I'm Nazlı and I want to dedicate this channel to cozy living and well-being. There will be videos in English and my native language, Turkish. And I have this script here that I taped. I made a list. This is how I usually form my speeches. So I hope it will also be helpful for a YouTube video. And I also got these note sheets recently and I love using them. They're so cute. And they're binded to each other like a notebook. So here's my starter. I made this last July. I just mixed some flour and water in a jar and stirred and then fed it for like first once a day and then twice. And then after like a week it was done. So currently it has some hooch on top, which is just this dark liquid that shows it's hungry. I could use this, but instead I'm just gonna pour it because the hooch makes it more sour and also affects how my starter rises. And I've been already having some problems with how it rises, so I just poured it and I will measure about 4 spoons. I don't really have a kitchen scale and I've been experimenting my recipes mostly, so I guess this will be okay. And I'll feed it after I'm done mixing the dough. I mean, it needs some time to warm up anyways. I just pulled this out of fridge because now that it's over like 6 months old, even more actually, I didn't really count about, yeah, no math for that right now. This was my 3rd spoon. And here's the 4th. Okay, so this is about enough for 1 batch of bread. And yeah, I can't really read it. My handwriting's so small when I look at it from here. Okay, so I mentioned how I made my starter. And then after making your starter, you can just maintain it by feeding it for the first few weeks because it's weak then. But after a few months or like weeks, it gets stronger and like aged. So you can just keep it in the fridge and take it out when you want to use it. Because each time you feed, you need to like discard a bit, and that really just creates waste. And you also need starter, like I recently started using a bigger jar because really after making 1 or 2 batches of bread, I would have none left and then I'd have to feed it for a few times to wait it to be enough again. So after that, yeah, okay, so pouring water. I also took a note that while pouring water, I should mention how I recently started boiling water in a pot like this rather than a kettle because it's a slower way and just, I mean, slowing down is sometimes better. Like it's a tiny step, but it feels good. So I'm gonna just check the temperature. I don't have a temperature like this stick. And well, I just washed my hands, so it's okay. It's a bit too cold, so I will measure about like a little bit more of this hot water here. It was boiling a few minutes ago, but then just got cold, so I need to add a bit more. Also, my current recipe is just experimenting really. About 1 cup of water, 4 spoons of starter, as I said. Like 4 spoons, that's directly out of the fridge where it's most condensed. So right now I'm mixing the starter with water. And to 1 cup of water, I have 3 cups of flour, but today I'm not using just regular white flour. I mixed it with whole wheat. I also love experimenting with different flour types, and whole wheat flour requires more water to your usual ratio because of the gluten development. And it has bigger particles than regular white flour, so it just needs more water, and I'll add it. I mean, I already added a bit, but maybe it will need more, I don't know. And then I add about 1 teaspoon of salt to the water. I've seen debates online whether adding the salt directly to the sourdough water is better or like adding it with the dough, with the flour is better. But I've just been adding it directly to the water because it mixes better. And in this bowl, I have like 3 cups, 2 cups of whole wheat and 1 cup of white flour. And I'll just mix it. I won't add all of it at once. I left about a cup in here. I'll first combine this and see how it turns out. And if it's too much flour, I'll just add more water. So let's see. Yeah, I should also mention that I still struggle with shaping the dough because I can never have a dough that's like sticky and also together enough to shape it as easy as others on YouTube do. So yeah, I've been experimenting to try and fix that, and we'll see today how it will turn out. We'll check the dough. Yeah, it's too sticky. But I think I shouldn't add more flour because it is whole wheat and it already needs too much water. So I don't know, I'll have a hard time shaping this again. I just know that, but yeah, no, it's not that sticky. I think it's alright. If I were to touch it with wet fingers, I'll try that now. Yeah, I mean, if I were to touch it with wet fingers, it wouldn't really stick. So yeah, it doesn't. And it's like kind of stretching good. So the consistency that we want, like I've seen on a video, it's a bit like gum, but also like a slime, but a little more condensed. Like, you know, you just pull it and it stretches real long, which is something I could never achieve, but just, you know, gotten close to it. So it's like, you know, it stretches a bit, like forms this sheet-like texture. So hi again. After the dough reached the consistency I wanted, I shaped it by grabbing the edges and putting them on top, so forming like a sphere with a flat surface, but flat bottom. And then I wrapped it in a few towels and clothes, like these fluffy ones and another. So then I put it looks like this, by the way. Then I put it in the warm oven, which I turned on for a few minutes just to get it a little warm inside. And now I'm gonna wet my fingers again. I washed them. It waited half an hour in the oven. Now I will do some stretch and folds. I will just grab an edge, stretch it, and just, you know, fold it like this. Then again, grab the edge from the bottom and then stretch it, and then fold in the opposite direction. I need to, wet my hands again. Okay. I need about 3 to 4 stretch and folds in total. And for each one, I need to repeat this for about 4 or 5 times. I'm back. I did enough stretch and folds and then sprinkled some flour on top, so I'll be able to dump this dough on the metal tray here on top. Ooh, and then, I'll get the extra flour on here so it doesn't stick. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. There's a bit left over in the bowl. I'll be shaping this into 6 smaller breads. I'm done with shaping them. Now I'll rest them on the counter for a few more hours before putting them in the fridge for cold proofing. Right, so I'm supposed to grab the sides and pull them on top, like kind of mend the middle parts. The top's dried out a bit. I think that's because of the fridge, but because I kept it about 12 hours, even a little more actually, because I had some errands to run. But unless there is mold, I think really everything's okay. Like somehow this will turn out tasting like bread. I pulled them out of the oven and they look like this with flax seeds. This is how it looks on the inside, has some bubbles, and now a taste test. The crust is really good. The sourdough taste is a little less sour compared to when I make it with rye. But just flour with whole wheat flour is easier, so I'm okay with this. And I will put the link of the video that taught me sourdough in the description. So see you!